The hunt, a vital part of the human life. It is when we study, we plan, we target, and then
we pursue.
It's that vital moment where we search for our future spouse. It's that point where we go shoulder to shoulder to prove our love. But sometimes, what you want don't want you back. And other times, they're just better hunters. What is a spouse hunt?
Okay, spouse hunt could be a time where a single person is seeking another single person.
A spouse hunt means the search for a life partner, basically.
Spouse hunt is an understanding from what the meaning of spouse hunt is, whereby we look for the kind of person we want to spend the rest of our lives with, like the person that aligns with our purpose, our God-given purpose.
Okay, a spouse hunt is, to me, is a stage or a process in life where someone begins to look out for a spouse or to probably marry or settle down with.
A single brother and a single sister, when it's matured to go into a relationship, to have someone they can work together, because the Bible says that can two work together except they agree. So it is a time of maturity, it's a time to move from one level to another. So I think that is a spouse hunt.
Does attraction overtake spirituality when Christians hunt?
Always. Most time. No, in fact, always comes before spirituality.
Yes, I think so, because I feel like we're all human beings, and most of the times our human nature seems or tries to get the best of us, and it actually requires intentionality.
I think most of the times attraction may overtake spirituality, but as a Christian we need to balance it, because it is not always attraction, because the beauty you see today, that one will not continually be like that. The person who is 18 today, always 20 today, will not always be 20 forever. So many times attraction overrides spirituality, but in the Christian world, I think spirituality should override attraction.
As much as you need a spiritual sister, you also need the attraction part, because you have to be attracted for you to get into marriage. So
That's why I do tell people, you are okay. There's a popular saying, how you are dressed is how you be addressed. So it's very important we look our best, smell nice, please. Very, very important
For you to always be live in the spirit, not let the flesh overtake you and your attraction for whoever it is. So yeah, it's possible that the attraction is going to overtake spirituality.
because I can be attracted to you even before I know you are holy, or you are spirit coco, or you can even kabash in the Holy Ghost. You can be a very good person kabashing in the Holy Ghost, but your look is not giving.
But we just have to be intentional about it as Christians.
Do you believe in soulmates?
Absolutely.
yes, I do believe soulmates.
Okay, of course I do believe in soulmate.
A soulmate is someone who you have a special connection with.
Someone that is meant to be, someone whose chemistry works along with you, someone whose goal and desire, his life pursuits and everything aligns with your own.
We help you fit into your God's given purpose in life. So yes,
Soulmate is somebody who you think really suits you, whose values suit your values. Everything about this person suits yours. So why not?
Questions Christians need to ask when attracted.
So the questions they need to ask each other, first of all, is first, I believe in spiritual life, very important. You know, how often you pray, how often you study the word, what are your don'ts and don'ts, anything, you know, all those things have to be established.
Am I lonely? Am I lonely? What am I looking for in this person? So what is my goal? Because for me to be attracted to someone, I need to know myself first. So who am I? Who am I first?
What is your goal in life? What drives you? What is your vision? What is your mission? How spiritual are you? What is your relationship with God?
And then your belief system also matters. So if I'm to have a spouse who does not believe in what I believe, you know, it will definitely be a crisis in the marriage.
The right questions to ask when somebody is attracted to me, when I'm attracted to somebody. Number one, is this God's way for my life? Number two, does he or she align with God's purpose for my life? And number three, is he a God? In fact, when I would have said God fearing to be the first answer, but then when you look at if this person is God's will for your life, and if the person is in line or in tune with God's purpose, if you can answer number one and number two, the third thing is, does this person fears God? There's a difference between somebody is a Christian and then somebody fearing God. They're two different things. You can be a Christian and not fear God. So you ought to ask, does this person have a personal relationship with God?
So if I am able to answer that question clearly, then I will know what I am attracted in that person for. Maybe I'm attracted to the person's sense of reasoning. I'm attracted to the way this person loves God and stuff like that. So
What do you do? You know, it asks them about their where they're coming from, you know, their family and all of that. And most of the time, some of these questions you can figure them out yourself. You don't really have to ask them, because most of the time when you ask these questions, when somebody has an intent, they'll fake it, they'll give you answers just to get you, you know, interested. But they may not be accurate, they may not be correct, they may be deceitful. So it's most times it's okay for you to try to know people and figure these answers by yourself, but you should definitely try to understand what somebody's life goal is. Definitely. So
Aside the church, where can people carry hunt?
So outside church, you can also carry out your spouse hunt in the office or where you work.
Be anywhere. I mean, you don't really know where you meet the love of your life. Can be in a conference, can be at a party, can be on the road, can be in the streets, can be anywhere, can be in church, can be in school. So there's really no location or definite stuff for Christians to actually find life partners. So Christians can find life partners anywhere.
Okay, carry out outside the church. You can carry out your hunt anywhere. You know, like I said, there's no particular place where they keep you. This is your where you can find your spouse. You can find your spouse anywhere. You know, in the balls, in the workplace, in the social gathering.
yes, it depends on your level, on your friend, on your understanding. It depends on what you are looking for. You can get a spouse even in the box. Yes, and it's possible. Even while working with someone, a saving pleasantry, anything can happen. So you can get a spouse at your workplace, you can get it in a meeting, you can get it in a fellowship ground, you can get it anywhere, but not a club most times.
Or where you work. Reason being that this place is where outside church you also spend like 12 to 15 hours of your life every day. So we just have 24 hours, and then 15 hours of your 24 hours you spend it in the office. So office or where you work is a very good place to search for a spouse outside church.
During a hunt, is there a fine line between attraction and
Of
lust?
course, you have to be attracted to somebody you like. Now, attraction is one, lust is another one.
The line between attraction and lust is a very thin line, really. because sometimes you're tempted to think you love somebody, not knowing you're lost after the person.
Attraction could be when you synergize with this person, you understand each other very well, and you're attracted to this person because you know this person's sense of reasoning.
Means that if you find someone really attractive, you find someone you like, somebody you like their personality, you like what drives them, you like their purpose, you like the way they carry themselves, you probably like their face or body or whatever.
Yes, that could attract you to the person, but lust could merely be just seeing this person, seeing the facial appearance, or seeing how this person, the figure eight appearance and stuff like that, and you're just attracted to this person. You just want to be around, you are just not still after that person's shape, not really because there's something genuine you are looking for.
Lust is of the flesh, but attraction is not of the flesh. That is the thin line between lust and attraction. Lust is of the flesh. You can lust after, you have the lust of the eyes, the lust of the mind, and then the pride of life. So, you lust with your eyes, which means if, for example, I'm a man, I'm lusting after a lady with what she has,
which is a normal thing. But lust means that you're now intending to have strong desires for this person, and most times it's sexual. So lust is a temporal thing. So they are both different concepts. Attraction is a normal thing. As a human being, you get attracted to people, you like people. But lusting after a person means that you just have a strong desire for this person, and most of the times it's temporal. Like after a period or after you get what you want, you run away.
So you need to, like I said earlier, knowing what you want is a guideline. Then prayerfully pray towards that is also another guideline, so that you know at any point if you start losing interest. For me, at any point you start losing interest, or if somebody is after a particular thing, maybe it's after your body as a guy or a girl, so to say, because both sides can be after each other. So,
What do we understand by player?
So, by the word player, it's someone that takes advantage of one emotionally, sexually, or financially.
Who is faithful, or who is always, jumping from one
around from this person to the other person, because you see with this person today, tomorrow you see with another person. It's not basically someone who is serious to do something tangible.
Someone who is not serious, somebody who is not a serious person, somebody who what they care about is joking around and playing with people's emotions just for self-gratification or to achieve selfish
have someone serious, but they won't want to take that person serious because they're out to divorce somebody financially or use the person's head.
What is a slay queen?
Dresses to kill, someone who dresses to impress, someone who dresses and not caring if a very pivotal part of our body or his body is showing, just to please.
Slay queen is someone who, I don't know the exact word to use for it, but slay queen is someone who gets attention.
Someone. Now a queen here is a female, right? So it's a female who all she cares about is material stuff, like what is at the surface, looking good, being on social media, which are some of the characteristics.
Basically their outfits, yes. Basically their outfits. So when you see people who are shavishly dressed, most times either half naked, their boobs showing, or exposing one part of their body or the other, people refer to them as slave.
Looking good, looking flashy, be on social media, just trying to another characteristics is gold digging. Like they always want to read from where they did not sow.
What gender is mostly associated with the word player?
This is a very tricky question. What gender is most ashamed with the word player?
Well, I don't think it's a gender thing. I think player is an individual thing.
I would say both gender in their equal proportion, 50-50. If I say a man is more, I'm going to be wrong. If I say a woman is more, I'm going to be wrong. So depend on the context of what we are saying.
Although it's most prevalent in males, and that's because women tend to be very vocal. When a woman has been played on, she's vocal about it, so it now looks like, okay, this guy played on her. But when a guy gets played on, they always bottle up these things, and that's why it does not really show like that, and that's why it's more prevalent amongst guys. So it's not a gender thing.
I'm going to say both.
Males, females, they're all players.
50-50. Let's leave it at 50-50.
The male gender is always associated with the word player.
Most times they say it's a player, it's mostly referred to.
They are the man figure, they are the ones who are the macho, who think like they can do anything at any time, whenever they want to.
Do you think slayers and players carry out hunt in church?
Well, yes, why not?
Yes.
Most definitely. Most definitely. In fact, if a slave queen that slayed in the world wants to settle down, they now come back to God. They now they lift up holy hands, even if their heart is not fully with Christ.
Church is actually a dry cleaning, shop. So some people are washed, some people are in the process of being washed. So the slave queen, the players, you see every category of people in church. So the church is not only for the saints.
They carry out hunts anywhere, and the church is not exempted. And most times they are intentional about coming to church because they know that they find the decent people in the church. You see a person, let me say a guy now who is a player, and he's seen two girls, two females, and the first female is someone who also wants to play along with whatever he wants, and the other female is the one who wants something serious, a serious relationship. You see him going for the person who wants a serious relationship. They always want the people who are decent. So most of the times they find those people in the church.
What's the guides to avoiding them?
To know or differentiate player and slave queen and thereabouts, and to stay away from them or stay away from them. I think as a Christian, we need the spirit of discernment. It is very, very essential. Because
basic guide to avoiding them is prayer. If you're prayerful, you'll be able to know who your spouse is, who is actually coming out there to distract you, and who is after. And exactly another way to differentiate aside from prayer is knowing what you want. What do you really want as a guy or as a girl?
You need to discern who this person is or who that person is. You also need the spirit of prayer to know if this person is serious or this person is just coming to play around with my feelings or my emotions. So you have to learn to see that red alert, so to help you run fast quickly away from them.
When you know what you want, you'll be able to know when they are around you and how to avoid.
Okay, so as a female, the guide to avoiding a player now is, first of all, you have to be focused, you have to be disciplined, you have to focus on the reason you came to church. Let your intent of coming to church not be to find a partner. Let it not be to find a husband or your wife. Let it be to serve God, and that should be your focus every day, every Sunday, or every day you come to church. So whenever that is your focus, you're not going to be a prey to all of these people.
Who is a biller?
Okay, first off, a biller is someone that sees you as his or automated teller machine.
Someone who needs or always wants the other person to satisfy his or her financial needs.
It could be both parties. I've seen relationships where the guy is either billing the girl or the girl is billing the guy. So it could be both ways, both genders.
Always asking for help. Well, yeah, that's what a biller. That's who a biller is. Always billing people or tasking people.
Even when they have, emphasis on even when they have, but because they know you are willing to give, they won't bother. They'll just ask you because they know that they'll be on the receiving end at the end of the day.
And can someone always be in need without being a biller? For me, no.
Always be in need and not be a biller. Now, you said need, not want. A biller is more of I want this, not I need this. Now, need is a necessity. You want something might not be really necessary at that moment.
You know, to me, it's the mindset actually that matters. So, the person that is always being in want, of course, one time in the other should have, have something. How tangible is what you want to give the person? It might be so small, it might be something of 100 naira or 200 naira, but is there a way of reciprocating what the other person has done? If there's no way to reciprocate it, irrespective of the amount, to me, that person is just...
They will always be in need, they will always be in want, they don't care about this other person or that other person, what is this other person doing. So they are always selfish, because they are always center focused on...
Someone can be in need and not be a biller, and the way to do that is that you have to show empathy, because you're not the only one who is in need. A couple of other people are also in need. The person who is helping you is also in need. The person also needs help. So most people, everybody needs help. Everybody is in need of one thing or the other. So that it's okay for you to be in need. It's also okay for you to show empathy when you need help from somebody.
Carrying out hunt to a person that's not a member of your local church.
If a person you're hunting is not a member of your local church, for me, I believe the church doctrines might be different, but there are a bit similarities in the sense that you have to see the ladies
have their own protocols. But I think first thing to do is inquire, go to maybe the church he attends or he attends, inquire from the marriage counselors or the pastor, and let them know that you are attracted or you want this person. So they make you understand if the person is either engaged or the person is married or there's someone around for the person already. So I think those protocols has to be taken step after step, so that you not go and get yourself injured by proposing and the lady is saying no to you. So when you go through that same process, the correct process, you will know, and it will save you more stress.
Minding where the lady is coming from. I married from a redeemed person, so the moment I feel this person I want, I walk up to the pastor, talk to the pastor. I want somebody from the church, and the discussion continue from there. So to me, the whole church doctrine might not be the same, but there's some similarities, which I believe that every church, before you start anything serious with any lady, it's necessary to see the pastor.
You as a man, because it is the man that does the hunting and not the other way around. So here's what I think you can do. When you see somebody, you're attracted to them. Most of the times it's the physical attraction first. You see somebody, you like the way they carry themselves, you like the way they talk, you like the way they behave in public and all of that. That is the first attraction. So you have to go close to this person and try to get their contacts, because you have to communicate. So when you do that, you can start conversations with them. Ask them, same thing I said earlier, what do you like? What drives you as a person? What interests you? What is your mission? What is your vision? What is your objective? Whatever it is, like intellectual questions.
Settling for the next option.
Person you want to marry is already married. That means the person is not for you. Or even if the person is for you but made a mistake, you have to let.
First of all, you don't have any business with somebody who's married. Like, if the question is, oh, this person is already married, you do not have any business with them. But if it's like, oh, somebody you are liking is not getting married to you, or is getting married to somebody else, I mean, it is fine. It is okay, right? It's okay for that to happen.
There's no need to settle for less. And if it was God who led to that first person before, and maybe I came late or thereabouts, I think the next thing is to go back to that same God who spoke to me about the first person. I think God always have answer to everything.
Certainly, the somebody you want to marry is already married. Of course, for me, it's a closed chapter because there's no need flogging a dead horse. So it's a closed chapter. If it's allowed to settle for the next option, depends on what you want. Really. What you want is on the next option, you can go for it. If the next option doesn't have it, I will advise that the person will still take time. I know it will be time wasting and disappointing. You can take your time to build up the relationship with another person to be sure you're on the same page.
There are people that don't really know what they want in life, and you can't force them into knowing what they want. So the best thing is to let go, number one, and secondly, to ask God to send your own.
You meet somebody and the person has the things that you like in a person. Like the person suits you physically, spiritually, mentally, intellectually, the person suits you. But now the person goes ahead to marry somebody else, does not mean that there is no other person in the world who fits in with you. So God will always bring people your way. That's one thing I know about God. God will always bring people your way. And when you include God in your search, He will always bring people who aligns with what you align with.
Because the challenges is that most times if you're settling for the next, you'll still be tempted to. I've seen people who are married and still going to their ex. Because possibly what they want is they are not getting it in the person who is okay, I must marry this year. And then eventually the person has gotten married, I have to marry this year by all means. So the disadvantages or consequences of those challenges, as the question says, is that they might most times they end up cheating, if not with the ex, with somebody else who they feel has those qualities that the ex has.
Qualities of attraction that makes a slay queen.
It happens, like there's this saying that the bad girls get married every Saturday and the good girls are just there still single.
In the place of communication, I think the so-called slave very many times they know how to get your attention, they know how to communicate, they know how to make you focus on them. But very many times the so-called decent girls, they many times keep to themselves, they don't want you to step on them.
Attraction is very, very key, and a slave queen knows how to command attention. A slave queen knows how to command attention.
People go for what is good. So when a slave queen dresses fine and you are decent, you're not dressing fine. Of course, we men most times are moved by what they see. So when they keep, seeing what is good in the slave queen, sometimes they could be, tempted to go for it.
And to my knowledge, like what I think is the reason is that these people we term as slave queens or bad girls, they have understood the principles of relationship, basically because they have either been in one or two or three relationships, like they have been in and out, so they have really understood what somebody likes, what men like.
To be on check, your hair has to be kept. You cannot, because you're a born again Christian, not know how to dress or not know how to look good, most especially smell nice. These are the little things that matters, and these are the little things that the so-called slave queen has as an edge over the spirit-filled born again virgin.
Could that be, make them to be a good wife or over this? To me, it might not really be, but like I said, it's what works for someone.
And not a men-women thing, like I'm talking about both genders now. Like they understand what this opposite gender likes, like a player, a slave queen. They understand what interests people. Most times men are intrigued by what they see. So these people always know how to dress to entice the men. They know the things to do, the activities to do to get the attention of the man. They know the things to say, they know the things to do. They know how to dress, they know how to carry themselves. So I think it's not just about being a Christian and all of that. You also need to, there are principles. I believe that there are principles to everything. So there are principles to relationships. So even as a Christian, you need to understand those principles and apply them. So like they say, the sun shines on both the bad and the wicked. So it's not like, this person is bad and they apply these principles, it does not work for them. it would work for them. So it's what you need to do as a Christian is to understand the principles of relationship and relating with people.
They don't want to breach any boundary and stuff like that. So I think, but it's not always good to build on that as a wife material, because this person knows how to attract and stuff like that. But it depends on what you are looking for.
Why players get easily selected?
True, okay, let's say that is true, because when you see players, most times you can see they can give a lady 1000% attention. Mark my word, 1000% attention.
And a gender that is always very cool and calm, always goes for what he wants. But a player also goes for what he wants, but it comes with lots of fun, because he could entertain you, buy things, get you all sort of things as she wants immediately.
So when a lady sees all that, of course, she from the onset she won't know that the person is a player. Of course, you feel this is a guy is ready for me. He'll give you all the time. He'll give you any kind of support just because he wants to be associated with you. But the person who seems to be genuine might not have that energy to give in to the lady, and the lady will say, this is who I prefer because he gives me all the time, he checks on me, he did this, he did that, not knowing that he's just doing everything to get to her.
Is the reason I think is because these players, they call them ladies man. They know how to treat a woman, they know how to treat ladies, they know the things to say, they know the things to do. You see a guy offering to prepare one dish or one meal that you've never eaten before, things that will throw you off guard, and you'll be like, oh. And women are mostly moved by how they feel. So most of the times, these players are the ones who know how to make women feel like women, actually know how to make them feel okay.
Because we are humans and we like what we see, even before we like the things that we see.
Where do people take hunting advice?
People take hunting advice from anywhere. There's no particular place. In fact, you can see guys within themselves discuss it. Ladies, in fact, ladies also hunt these days, so it's not only guys.
There's singles fellowship, there's counseling sessions, whether with your pastor in the church or anything. I think from friends, not just any friend in the world, but friends who they're endowed spiritually. You also can seek from those who have gone ahead, who you see as elders who have gone ahead of you into this marriage.
They often take hunting advice from their friends, their parents, and then their principal, because they already have these checklists of if the girl or the guy doesn't meet up their checklist, they are not going to settle with that person.
It's left for the individual, but where should somebody take hunting advice from? Okay, I think if you need advice, you can get advice from people who are experienced in this, like relationship coaches or experts. Yeah, you can also take from people who are married, who are in successful marriages. Who are in successful marriages. You're sure they're in successful marriages. Can take advice from them. You can take advice from your family as well.
But the best go-to, in fact, the best Google, the best Chrome for wanting ideas or wanting is the Holy Spirit.
There's no two way about it. You just have to let go.
The first thing to do is pray about it. Yes, really pray about it. And if it's not working, I think to be on the safer side, to not have yourself broken down, I think you have to enjoy. It is not a do or die.
That is your mind. First of all, somebody who is in a relationship does not have any business seeing your parents, does not have any business promising you marriage. That is cheating already. He's cheating on his supposed girlfriend. He's also probably cheating on you. In fact, he's cheating on one of you, but he's cheating because he can't keep to people and say, oh, you're in a proper relationship, but you're promising someone else marriage. That is all shades of wrong. So I think what you
So John takes you to his friends and say, this is my boo, but he's still attached to his ex. His friends knows you, his parents knows you. In fact, everybody around knows you. In fact, it's those friends that know you that even shouting, our wife, our wife. Those ones are the most dangerous. So for John to have an ex and he's still very comfortable around her, and the friends know, my dear, just take a bow and walk away.